This week in the shop, I make a platform for the dog. All right, Max, in. Well, I'm out here plowing snow today. And if anybody ever wonders why I prefer GM products over Chrysler, my 89, I hopped in it, it fired right up. The 2006 Jeep, something in it kills the battery every single time. It's something in the ignition switch. Don't know what it is. I'm gonna end up putting a battery kill switch in here so I can shut the battery off completely to avoid this. It drives me nuts. I had it running yesterday, had the battery all charged up, and now today it's absolutely dead and won't even try. At least I have this little jump box. This thing works slick. Oh, can't really see it. Yeah, it's completely dead. See if I can get anything out of it. This battery's only a couple years old. Nice Optima red top, and it's destroying it because it kills it every single time it sits. I mean, it doesn't even have to sit all that long and it kills it. I don't get it. Huh. Yeah, now it won't even take anything. Great. Well, I'll have to see what I can do to get this started. Hopefully it didn't completely toast this battery because it's only a couple years old. Well, even my little jump pack wasn't enough. Had to pull up the good old trusty dually to jump start it. I'm gonna have to pull that battery out. I'll park it back here. We're not really gonna drive it, so I'm gonna pull that battery out, get it on a trickle charger just to kind of save it because I don't want to destroy it. They're not cheap. So for now, I'm gonna just move these out of the way, continue plowing, finish up my job. Well, I'm in the garage with a different kind of project. I got my Kubota tractor here. Fun thing about a diesel tractor in the winter is the fuel gels up every once in a while. I thought I had winter fuel in here, but I guess not. So now I get to hop underneath, pull the fuel filter. I already put diesel 911 in it to remove a little bit of diesel fuel. I have Angie running to get me some more diesel fuel so I can get something cycling through. I'm gonna hop under here, get the fuel filter off, waiting for her to bring me some new ones. We got those in our storage garage. Hop in it and get this back going so I can plow the driveway real quick. All right, here it kind of shows you the problem with it. Even though it's still showing liquid in here, it's not draining out much at all. See, I don't know if you can see that in the camera, but there is liquid in there and it's not allowing it to pass. So that filter is just all gelled up and clogged. I'll wait for the new one, pop that in. I'll change the one underneath the hood as well. And then hopefully this fixes everything. Well, unfortunately, I don't have any more fuel filters. So I ran some treatment through that to hopefully free everything up. I'm gonna hopefully get by. I'll have to order some more. I got some fresh diesel fuel stuck in here. I got it topped off. So hopefully the combination of getting it in here, warming it up, and all the treatment I'm running through it will get it so I can at least run it for now. Is what it is. I'll get some more filters ordered up tonight. Well, I was able to get diesel fuel flowing through this. Now this is the absolute wrong thing to do, I know that. But I need to get my tractor running because I gotta clear some snow. So I'm gonna bolt this back up, see if enough fuel flows through to let me do that. And then I'll get some ordered up tonight. Definitely disappointed here. My old school Craftsman ratchet. See if I can get it to focus on it. Old school Craftsman ratchet. Here's the important part. Made in the USA. I've had this thing probably 30 years and it's now going bad. It's too bad. They don't make them like they used to. The new Craftsman stuff, in my opinion, it's all junk. I wish they'd go back to making the tools in the US. It is what it is. Well, I got that running. I'll probably have to keep it in the garage until I can get new fuel filters in it so it doesn't do it again. But I'll get them on order. They'll be here in a couple days. Hopefully I can get that switched out quick. But I'll end up moving this Jeep back outside. I got to get the other one brought in here. I have one more thing I have to do on that before I leave. So, but for now, I'm going to go plow. I'm back in the garage. I have one more little project to do on the JK before our vacation. The back seat up here, I was thinking about removing it and making a platform. Because when the dog's in here, he has a hard time staying stable on this. But instead, for now, what I decided to do is I'm gonna fill in the space right here behind the seat. So I have some plywood, some carpet. I was gonna make a little platform, make some supports, so that way he has something to stand on and isn't bouncing around as much. I'll see how this works out. If that works great, then I don't have to remove the back seat. If it doesn't, then I'll come back and I'll just take the whole thing out and make a platform so he sits a little lower. Hopefully he's a little more comfortable in it this time and doesn't bounce around as much. But I'm gonna get to it. I'm gonna put the boards in here, trace it out so I can cut them out. All right, so here's my quick layout. I'm gonna just cut it straight across. It'll indent in between the seats, and then this will sit right up against the top of that seat rail. So now I just gotta cut this out real quick. I ended up recently, I just switched all Milwaukee tools. I get to try them out for a while. So far, I'm liking them. The DeWalt stuff has been good for me. I've had it for, over 20 years. Some of this stuff, I've been using DeWalt for probably 30 years, more likely, almost 30 years. They've been good, but lately it seems like the batteries just don't last. So switching over to the Milwaukee and see what that's like. So far I'm liking the battery. I got a really good deal for Black Friday, so I was able to jump on and buy a big kit. All right, here's the overall idea. Right now it's just sitting in there, it's kind of wedged in, which that'll work really good. Shut the door quick. So that clears the door. We'll look at the other side. All right, so here's what I ended up with. I got it clearing the door over there. I gotta slide it over a bit. So that sits in there nicely. Sits up here in between my seats. There's really nothing underneath I need to get to. Having a little dip in here is not going to be a big deal to me. It's just giving him a platform to step on so he doesn't fall in this big hole. It's about a foot drop for him, so that makes him uncomfortable. Next, I will take and, it's hard to see in here. Next, I'll take and cut out a piece for here. Should be really simple. I'll just take and measure off the one I already cut. Cut that out, and then I'll wrap them, and then I'll make some supports for right down here. So my goal with this is to be able to keep my storage underneath, keep access to it. So I don't want to have too much over here. I want to have some sort of window to get to this. I don't know exactly how I'm going to support it on the ends yet, but I'll come up with something. I might have a support on the back coming across the front of the seat, and then on the front along here. That way I can fit things underneath in here. I don't know, but then it ties up a lot of space down there. I'll have to figure out what I'm gonna do. All right, so here's what I came up with real quick. Instead of just making legs, I think I'm gonna make it an actual box. I can get underneath here. I can get underneath the seat from the side for anything I wanna put in there. So I think here, let's get this put back up. I got my top made. I think I'll make a little box like this and put a hinge on it so I can just flip that up and put things inside the box. I'll cap off both ends. Should work really slick. Gives me a lot of storage plus a platform for the dog. So next, I just need to mock up some side pieces. And I want to make sure that it's the same driver's side to passenger side. The driver's seat is slightly back more, so what I'll do is I'll throw it over there on the driver's side, make sure this fits, and I'll build it for that side. Then for sure the passenger side will fit. So next step is just to make my sides. All right, so next step is to wrap it and carpet. I got this just really cheap carpet. Mimics automotive stuff. So all I need to do is have enough to wrap it around and staple it on the back side, which of course I don't have my staple gun here with me. I'll have to go to my storage shed and get that. But about there is plenty. That gives me a lot. So what I'll end up doing is I'll just take and cut it like this. There we go. There it is. All right, so that gives me enough to wrap this around. I'm not going to bother gluing it down or anything. I'll just staple it down. And in the corners, I'll end up cutting some of this away. Or trying to get it to land as nicely as possible and wrap the corner. So that will end up looking pretty good on the corner. Underneath you won't even see it, so I might just go like that, then I don't have to bother trying to cut it. Max, come here. Alright, there you go. Sit. Back in the garage today, I'm going to make up my little platform for Max here in the back seat. I got my staple gun. I'm going to staple the carpet on here real quick. and then I'll go get my round bar, form that up. I'll bring him inside before I start welding. Get that welded up so it's done, ready to go. This is my final project before we go on vacation. Right, Max? All right, start in the middle here. Let's go this way. Let's tighten that up, dog. There we go. I mean, this starts to take shape really quickly. Just trying to keep it a little bit tight. Carpet does stretch over time, but this isn't too bad. This probably isn't going to last very long before I redo it with an aluminum box. But for the corners, I usually just get up here, staple them in. And then I can lay this over. It's a little bit harder going through all the different layers here, but it doesn't have to be perfect. There. There we go. That creates a nice clean edge. It's hard to see. Nice clean edge for the corner. Outside corners are pretty simple. Inside corners are a little bit more difficult. For this, I'll have to cut back a little bit. That doesn't end up being perfect, but for what I'm doing, that's plenty good. Go. First. Go. That's one. It's one panel. I'll just do the same thing to this real quick. And then Max will have to go inside. It turned out pretty good. I'm gonna run out and get my round bar, take the dog inside, move on to the next step. My next step is to take my round bar, it's still pretty cold, and form it to my pattern here. This is the pattern I made when I had the Jeep in here last. So this will be the back seat. This is the front seat. It's hard to tell. So this will be the front seat, this is the back seat. I just got to make my form fit inside that. I'm going to take it over to the vise, start bending it up, probably have to use a little heat. Shouldn't be too hard to do. Just start making it, I'll make 4 of them and then make something to connect in between the two to hold that center section that I left incorporated in. I'll just have a little tab sticking out so that sits on the tab and supports it. Pretty simple project. Since that's not really working out the way I want it, I'm just going to take and cut my lengths and weld it together. It'll be just as strong, do what I need it to do, but this will probably be a lot quicker. So I'm going to start the top, cut a 9-inch piece, and I need 4 9-inch lengths. So now I'll take and lay this all out on my pattern. I'll take it over to my welding table and tack it in place real quick. I'll get one started and then I can use that as my form for everything else. Well, here we go. I'm gonna get going on this. So I got my pattern up here. Hold that in place. This one. Just gonna start laying it out. This is my back one. This is my front one. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use my squares here. Go. But this is going to make it so I can make them all identical. I can stack them all up in here. That was a little long. Two. Three. All right. So it's enough to get 3 at a time. These all even. Here we go. All right, so now I'll just come along and tack everything on the outside here and inside, and then I can take them apart and I can get this last one stacked up in there. You end up burning your paper template, but I already have this all drawn up on the computer, so I don't need it anymore. Next step, I'll just fully weld all these. And then I'll make some cross supports. I'll probably just make one along the bottom, and then the top I'll fasten to the actual wood boards, and that'll be enough to hold it in place. It doesn't have much room. It's pinched in between the front and back seat, and it can't really go side to side, so I'm not too worried. Should work pretty good. All right, so I just got done, kind of laid this out and got a plan going in my head. What I'm gonna end up doing is I'm gonna use these old caster plates I have laying around. I cut a bunch of them that are the wrong size, so I have nothing to use them on. May as well use them on this. So I'm gonna take and center that up on the support here and weld it in place on all of them. And then tomorrow I'll be able to go out to the Jeep, lay this all out, and start marking for my holes, and possibly just screw them in place right away. So I get the whole frame put together, and then I'll come across and I'll weld a piece of strap on the front here to add a little bit of support, so for side to side movement. This should be plenty to hold it in place for what I'm doing. So I'm gonna get all this moved out of the way, start fitting this up. I'll square it up nicely, and I'll weld these in place. And then at that point, I'm probably done for the night. I'll come back to it tomorrow when there's light out and finish this up real quick. This is the last project I have before taking off on vacation, so I want to get it done as quickly as possible. I got in a rush before our BDR trip, so I didn't film any of the final assembly. Had all my caster plates welded on, and I ended up coming out here and just screwing them into the boards. I got the one support right here in between the two, tying them together, just all screwed together. It worked out really good. The dog was comfortable in there. He actually liked laying his head up here on the center console while we were driving, so he was able to be nice and close. I was thinking about redoing it, but now I don't think I'm going to. I think I'm just going to leave it as is and use it like this for now. I got plenty of storage underneath. Everything's kind of a disaster from our trip yet. I haven't really went through and organized it all, but it worked great. I'm happy with it. With that, thanks for watching.